Hello again. Welcome back to your 5-minute devotional stop with me, Amy Phillips. I'm on a journey moving from fear to faith, and I hope you'll join me for Just Believe.
Hey friends! As Easter was approaching this week, I've been meditating on the cross. I'm so grateful for this time of year that brings us back to this brutal and beautiful story, the truth of Jesus' desire to let this cup pass from him, and yet his reverent submission to the Father's will, not my will, but yours be done, Father. So I had a friend this week tell me of a line that her mother would say to her often when she was struggling. Jesus died on the cross for you. Will he not do whatever it was? You know, what a beautiful line. Jesus died on the cross for you. Will he not? How could he not? If he's gone to the furthest limit of what someone could do for someone else, he gave up his life. He gave it all he had for you and for me. Romans 5:10 says, "For if, while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God through the death of his Son, then how much more, having been reconciled, will we be saved by his life?" If Jesus died for us while we were far away from him, how much more will he draw near and save us, comfort us, take up our infirmities now that we know him? Will he not meet our every need? Will he not answer when we call? Will he not? So we're all familiar with the story from Daniel chapter 3. And in it we meet 3 Jewish men who follow the living God in the midst of the ungodly Babylonian culture. So some of the men there are wanting to maliciously accuse these Jewish men of not bowing down to the golden image of the king Nebuchadnezzar. So we read it in chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar asked them, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true that you don't serve my gods or worship the gold statue I've set up? Now, if you're ready, when you hear the sound of every kind of music, fall down and worship the statue I made. But if you don't worship it, you will immediately be thrown into the furnace of blazing fire. And who is the God who can rescue you from my power?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, "King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." I love it, the even if, because they're holding to the truth that they know the living God. They have no doubt of his coming through for them, and even if he doesn't deliver them in the way that they think he should, they will not bow down to another. They know who he is, and they know whom they serve. So you know the rest of the story. As they're thrown in the fire, another man appears with them. There's another in the fire, a fourth like the Son of God. King Nebuchadnezzar sees this and calls the men out of the fire when he sees that they're not burning. And they come out of the furnace with not even a single hair singed or even the smell of fire on their clothes. There's a song by Hillsong called "Another in the Fire," and the lyrics are, "There was another in the fire standing next to me. There was another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden where another died for me. There's another in the fire." So when I was looking up those lyrics, I happened to glance down at my Google search and saw that someone had asked what the song was about. And the answer said, "In general, Another in the Fire is a song of Christian faith. By paying attention, a listener can become privy to many of the basic ideologies that dominate this religion. For instance, there is the idea that God, or one of his representatives, is always within close proximity of the faithful." I'm like, they got it, right? Will he not? Of course he will. He has already given us all things. Will he not? Yes, he will, for we are his treasure. We are the reward of his suffering. Will he not? Yes. He has already said he will by his death for us. He is always in close proximity of his followers. He is always drawing near to us. So these men we read about, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, they believed and they held on to the truth that no matter what came, They believed in the one true and living God. Can you imagine now how much more we can believe when Jesus has come and he has died for us? I feel like they spoke that even in the midst of terror, pain, sorrow, sin. And we can speak it if Jesus died for us. Will he not answer every heart longing? Will he not draw near to our hearts? Will he not give us what we need? Will he not? He has already said yes. And even if it doesn't go the way we think, even if we go through pain and suffering, we will not stop standing on that truth that he is the God who has already given us all things. So much so that he sealed us with his Holy Spirit who lives inside of us. So will he not? Yes, dear ones, he will. He is with us. He is for us. May it be your heart's desire today to say, even if, because will he not? Look for him in the fire. Look for him in the middle of the waters. He is near to you. There is a cross that bears the burden where another died for us. There's another in the fire, friends. Do not fear, just believe.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you feel encouraged and strengthened. If you want to connect with me, you can find me at amybphillips.com. See you next time.